people who have of very great consequence. You also do some adjustments, but it's not a very heavy thing. It's like a couple of expressions and that's that. But they are very formal indeed. Okay, that's because of course the feudalism and so on. Crazy adverts, yes, they are in some different aesthetics, and we can like it or dislike it. We usually don't know what they are advertising, but they have their own signs which we don't understand, and then they usually understand. Okay, or sometimes because they have the signs also they have three alphabets, and one of the alphabets is totally concentrated on the similarity of sounds, so it's not just, so even the word which is not in thematic, it's not meritorically concerning something, can be used for a combination of words that bring on thinking about something, so it's really something. Yeah, so they have a relatively high IQ because they have to learn basically two alphabets, their own, or even four alphabets, their own three alphabets and the Latin alphabets in really learning English. Most of them try at least to learn English. So no wonder that the Far East Asians, and especially the Japanese, the people from Singapore, Taiwan and so on, have very high IQ. Okay, on average. Kabuki, yes, the theater that is more telling than presenting. It's a little bit similar to the Chinese theater, but it's more about emotions, a bit like in Baroque, and a little bit about telling the story more than showing the story. So it's a little bit like ancient Greek theater and so on. So it's fun. Okay, samurais and daimyos. Samurais, they are petty, small noblemen, and big aristocrats, big magnates were the daimyos, and they formed a new elite. So in 19th century, so basically it's the continuation, not this gives the Japanese political and social system this right-wing look. Okay. They like to take a stroll a lot, and yes, of course, among the blooming cherry trees, for instance. Yes, that's true. Yakuza is not comparable to any mafia in the Western world or Russia or something, because Yakuza is pretty revered institution. They have their own offices. You can employ them to take the debts from someone if you are his creditor and he refuses to pay back. You can, and they have many very rich set of means. They can squeeze the money back from the debtor, and so they also, the police even sometimes like them because they fight petty crimes, because they feel that their city is their city and they want to be responsible citizens or something like this. So it's really not like of course if you caught them smuggling narcotics or something, they also do that. So they can be very cruel and very gangster like, but usually they are pretty well, honorable, like everything in Japan. So police tolerate them, and they also help police to fight petty crimes. So the streets of Japan are very safe indeed, even when there is some tourism bureau and they are advertising the vacations, for instance, in Denmark or Switzerland. They inform the Japanese people, tourists, that those countries are not as safe as Japan is, because no country in the world is as safe as Japan is. Okay, formalities, I told about them. They are not very open to immigrants, even South Koreans, that's true, and Chinese, so relatively close cultures. They are not very direct in giving some information. Sometimes, for instance, a wife that is cheated on by the man, by husband, can inform that she is not pleased anymore with the relationship.